Hello, hello, hello. I haven't been streaming in a long time, and I had this message. It's just so I'm speechless. So life be lifing, and I'm gonna get straight into it. One of my family members found out today that they have 1 week to live. That's what the doctor's telling them. The doctor's saying that you have 1 week to live. And I was talking to my mom about it. And the only thing that I could just fathom it's shocking because, you know, this family member had no idea. They just, they were actually went to the hospital for something totally different. And now they're finding out, oh, you have a week to live, literally today. And so I was talking to my mom about it. And I was like, the crazy thing is, um none of us are promised tomorrow. Like it's terrifying to have a medical expert say, there's nothing else that we can do. And I was just thinking, the truth is, none of us know when we're going to go. Like, none of us can predict when our last day is. And so I really just got empowered. And I was just reminded of how precious every moment of life is. And, I'm sharing this message because it's really shocking. It is shocking. And I wanted to share this message to not only remind myself, but to remind everybody who I'm connected to that we get to live, we get to choose life before it's too late. And, no matter what's going on, no matter where we are, no matter, you know, nobody knows when it is. And, if in this moment you have goals or you have experiences, you have things you want to create and things you want to live out, like now is the moment. I know that intro was kind of messy, and um, it really does. When the people, I mean, people die every day. We know that, but whenever it's somebody who's close to us, and just the situation, life is messy. Life is messy. So I wanted to share this moment. I do have some notes. I'm going to be looking back and forth, but I want to put this message out. And if you're clicking on this, it's because you're stuck. Like, you have something that you're called to do. You have something that you are supposed to contribute to the world, and only you can do it. I feel like a broken record. I feel like I say that all the time, but there's so much inside of you if you're watching this, or share it with somebody else, where you get to live out loud, because most people don't realize that they are wasting their life until it's too late. And I'm not saying this about anybody. I'm just saying sometimes we are entitled. Like, we procrastinate, we wait, we overanalyze, and we're not being faithful. We're not being faithful in our journey. We're not being faithful to our ancestors. We're not being faithful to the source. And that is not. Oh, what's up, Billy? I can't even. I'm like, I haven't streamed in like year, like over a year for sure. And so definitely tell me hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Um, and let me know if this message resonates with you. But my question to you, and I'm answering this for myself. If today was your last day, would you be proud of how you lived it? Or would you regret everything that you didn't do? That's the question. And I know this is like deep, and it's like, girl, whoa, we just started the month. Exactly. We are three fourths. I mean, we only have three fourths left. of 2025 left, right? So 20 the first part, the first quarter of 2025 is done. There's nothing that we can do to go back and change it. There's nothing we can do to, it's done and our time is limited. So we get to stop waiting. We get to stop overthinking and we get to start actually living our life. We get to make moves and do the things and live and, you know, create happiness, create joy in every moment. And that has been something that I've been super intentional over the past few weeks is, you know, I'm one of those people who I have these goals and I'm like, let me just get to the goal. And it got tiring because I'm like, yo, like I have these big goals, and when I get that done, but there's a lot more days in between those milestones, right? And so, with that being said, it's really, I've been playing with this idea of how do I get to enjoy every single day? And it sounds woo woo. It sounds like, the fantasy life. But I have been super intentional over these past few weeks of creating routines in my life, creating habits, being more connected to me and myself throughout the day, every single day, in order to enjoy my life now. I'm tired of numbing out until I get done with this project, or, I'm tired of waiting until. I'm like, I've been, doing entrepreneurship for years. And yes, I've had some great accomplishments, but I'm tired of waiting from project to project, goal to goal. Like, I want to be happy now. And so that's why, not to, put my family business out there, but it really hit me like, oh gosh, like we really have to talk about this because none of us know. None of us know. And so I believe that there are two types of people in life. I believe there are two types of people in life. There are those people who are not connected to themselves, and they are just stuck in the doing, and they're not living their lives. And I was that. I was so like, let me just, suffer and get to it. But I really wasn't connected to myself. And so I started playing with this idea of, yeah, I'm doing all this self-care to myself and for myself, but am I really in self-love? So that was one idea I started to play with. The second type of person that I believe there is are those people who are too into themselves. And so these people, they are stuck in worrying, they're stuck in looking good, they're stuck of being afraid and, caring about what other people think. They overthink. And so the important thing of like just identifying, saying, you know what, I'm probably that person. It's not about blame, shame, guilt, or any of that. It's just more so of having a baseline of where you can start. Because once we begin to identify ourselves and assess, ourselves with honesty and authenticity, we get to actually have a place to actually grow from. So life is about enjoying our time right now, in this moment, not tomorrow, not in an hour, literally right now. Because there is an illusion of time. I said it, I'm going to say it again. None of us know if we're going to make it past this week. I know that sounds like, girl, like you coming in hot, but it's true. Like we think we got all this time, but none of us know. Unfortunately, some of us get told news, and, in different situations, but no human on this earth knows exactly when they're going to transition. And I looked up, it's about 150,000 people who die every single day. 150,000 people die each day, and most of them did not expect to die, right? And so why do we wait for the right time? Like, why? Like, to do the things that would make us happy right now, and to get the most out of life right now. Now I know this could be a little contradictory about well, yeah, YOLO, but then also I gotta prepare. But I'm not talking like, come on, like let's be adults. Um, let's be sensible, right? I'm not saying like go out and, blow up, your life. What I'm saying is so many of us have goals and we have ideas and we have things and we say, oh yeah, I'm going to do it later. I'm going to do it later. Oh, I'm going to wait till Monday. But we've been on this earth and we've shown ourselves so many times that later has yet to come. And later is not guaranteed. So there are so many resources that state that regret is one of the most common emotions at the end of our life, at the end of um, the dying's life. So they've surveyed a lot of elderly people, or a lot of people who were like bedridden or in hospice, and they would interview them and ask them, about their life and what were their regrets and what were their proudest moments. And regret always comes up. It's one of the top things that come up. So the point of this video is to remind you to not let that be you. To remind me, I'm putting this out there. I'm holding myself to the fire to be saying this message, put this message out there because it's. I mean, it when it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, 150,000 people die every day, but then when we are touched with somebody like close to us, it's mind blowing and it becomes real, right? So, are you stuck in the doing or are you actually living your life? That's another question I got for you. I got so many questions for you. Are you stuck in the doing or are you actually living your life? Society has glorified this busyness, and I know that it has shifted some, where we're in the soft era and all that. But my question to you: are you actually fulfilled right now? Because we've heard it, we all hear it, we've heard it, as far as people saying like, oh, the material things don't matter. And hey, T, T said, live on the edge, move, move, move. Yes, honey, the only way we grow and through we learn, we live is through movement, not being stagnant. So I definitely agree with that. Are you actually fulfilled? And I know that, and I feel like, who, honey, I'm so grateful because I'm seeing a lot of my past self in this message. You can be productive and feel and still feel empty, and that's what I was saying about myself. Like I realized, like I would get these goals, I would do these things because if you know me, and I love me, but if you know me, I am so driven and I'm so goal oriented. Like I'm just so focused. And for a while, I thought that's how to live. Like I thought, like, oh, like the more I create, the more that I produce, like that's what life is about. And just over, I want to say since 2024, I was asked by one of my business coaches. He asked me about my self worth, and I don't even know why, but like it literally blew up my brain. He asked me about my self-worth, and I was like, what? Like, because I never heard that before. Like I felt that I was worthy, but obviously my actions was not aligning with the results that I wanted. And so it really took me on this journey again to be on a journey of self-love and not just self-care. Because I mean, I do the things, I get my hair done, I do the nails, I go on trips, and I stay in 5-star hotels. I travel all the time. Like I do all the things, but I still was like missing something. And so it really opened up this whole, like, what if I just slow down and I begin to actually master myself and start being and start living. And so I think that's why like this moment is just grounding me so much, because achievement without connection It is meaningless. It is meaningless. And so I'm going to ask you another question. Are you chasing more, or are you creating moments? Another thing that tends to stop us from living our best life is overthinking. Yes, it's super important for us to be mindful and to be intentional and to actually use our brain. It's so important for us to use our brain. But overthinking is a silent killer. It's a killer to our dreams, our goals, our desires, our authenticity. Analysis paralysis keeps people stuck in the it can keep people stuck in the same unhappy cycles because you're just overthinking, thinking about it. And just like T said, like, we gotta move, action. Like, literally, even our cells are in constant vibration. Like, everything that is living is in constant vibration. There's nothing that is just still. So whenever we think of, oh, I got to do this right, or perfectionism, or, let me think about it, it is just fear dressed up as waiting for the right time. And I've already said it, and you already know this. There is no such thing as the right time. Like, I actually had something happen to me recently where I had the idea to do this for over a year. I had the idea to do it for over a year. And I just was like, I kept pushing it off, and I like kept making up excuses. I was like, man, like, it's just out the way. Or I felt like I would like kind of go do it, but I didn't like, I wasn't really ready for it. And so I would like show up, but I really wasn't ready. And I just kept missing the person. And then I actually connected with the person, and it was the easiest partnership that I've ever had. Like, it was so easy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we could have been in partnership over a year ago because I've been had the idea, but I just kept procrastinating. I kept, I was afraid of, apparently, because why else wouldn't I just go ahead and do something that I believe that was a mutual benefit, and not only to me and the partner, but then also for the community, right? And so there's no right time. And now it's kind of like, now we're in this partnership, and we're like, oh man, like, it would have been better back this time or that time. But it's like, we still moving it because it's alignment. But I wanted to share that story. Then right now is the right time. And the truth is, the only way to do it right is just to do it. The only way to do it right is just to do it. Yes, T said the relief of finally doing is so fulfilling. I was so proud of myself because I'm like, girl, why was you scared? like you wasn't gonna whip it or nothing, like, no matter what the person said. But like, why are we afraid? Like, why are we literally I'm actually gonna talk about that next. Like, we I think we misdiagnosed what it is. So I'm gonna get to that too. But the only way to do anything right is to just do it, just to get it done. Because as long as we have breath in our body, we can pivot, we can change our mind, we can correct the mistake, we can fix it. Like, we're smart enough, we're capable enough to improve stuff and handle problems. And in those lessons, in that journey of figuring out and tweaking and doing the rep again, that's how we get stronger, and that's how we grow, right? But to my point, about oh yeah, it was definitely a little bit of fear of rejection in there. It was definitely some fear of rejection, T. I can't even front. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna pretend. Like, I was definitely like scared, because that's why it took me over a year. It was crazy. But honestly, it was anxiety. So a lot of the things that we make up, we misdiagnose. And so I heard Myron Golden, he defined fear versus anxiety. So fear is the survival emotion of a real threat. So like back in the barbaric days, you know, our ancestors. We're really afraid, like, oh my gosh, look at this lion. Like this lion's about to kill me. Like I'm afraid, right? And I hope these, because I'm saying a lot of words like die and kill. So I hope like these streaming platforms don't delete this video. So I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. Let me just be more mindful because y'all know they be taking stuff down. But anyways, um, so Myra Golden, he defined fear as a real survival emotion, like it's a real threat, while anxiety is the emotion of false threat. That's something, it's something that we just made up. So we are allowing anxiety to rob our life, because anxiety is just the feeling of a false threat that might happen. Like we just made it up, but it's not like, you know, if a poisonous snake come in this room, oh, that's fear, honey, I'm getting out. Like it's a difference, because that's a real threat present, right? So, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of loss, none of these fears add time to our life. And none of these fears that we make up, like we just make stuff up, we worry, we do self doubt. Like, none of that stuff is real. And it's a form of self sabotage that we punish ourselves with. And so, why do we do that to ourselves? That's when it is time for us to really sit down and begin to heal ourselves. And life is so humbling whenever whenever we get to the level of I am responsible for my life. Yeah, I know, you know, I didn't do all this stuff to me. Yeah, I know, like this person really hurt me, etc., etc. All the whatever. And when we get to that level where we choose to be responsible for our happiness, our freedom, our life, that's when we get to actually just humble ourselves, be vulnerable, and surrender to the principles of life. I hope that makes sense, because doing the work of personal development and healing ourselves, it is work. And it's literally, oh my gosh. So I heard this quote yesterday. What was it? It said, oh my gosh, I have it somewhere. There was this quote. There was this quote. There was this quote. There was this quote. Let me see. I wrote it down. Okay. This is an important quote. Um, where is this quote? Oh my gosh. Oh, disciplined. Discipline is like an addiction. You have to beat it every day. Discipline is like an addiction. You have to beat it every day. So I actually heard Sandra Sumter say that. And the reason why I share that is because we think that, oh, like, oh, I'm gonna be disciplined this week, or I'm gonna be disciplined. Like it literally is something we have to. And I don't know what it's like. Well, I guess we all are addicts in some way. Some people are addicted to sugar. Some people are addicted to scrolling. Some people are addicted to self sabotage. Yeah, so we may not be addicted to the drugs. Oh, I hope the video don't get taken down. But because I'm just saying like a lot of like explicit stuff. But I want to be real with y'all, because this is real life. This is real life. And so we get to treat the things that are going to change our life just like the things that that are destroying our lives. So when we have those habits that don't work for us, and we are just giving into them and we're losing to them, it's like we can choose our heart. I know y'all have heard that before, like choose your heart. Like um it is hard to work out every single day, 5 days a week. You know, it's hard, but it's also hard being overweight. It's hard not being confident in my body. It's also hard, you know, being being exposed to different diseases just because I chose to eat too much. It's hard having a stomach ache every night because I overate, So it's like we get to choose our hard. It's hard, working hard for a little bit of money, but it's also hard to not discipline that money. Like everything is hard. We get to choose. We're responsible. We get to choose which way we want to live. Okay, I feel like I beat that on the head. So, where was I? Um, Most of what we're afraid of will never happen. That goes back to the anxiety versus the fear. Fear is a real threat. Like if I saw, I don't know, like I said, if I saw a poisonous spider or spider maybe, but I'm not really afraid of them, but I would be afraid in that moment. But fear is a real threat. Anxiety is something that we make up and it would never happen. So just a plug for mental health, y'all. I believe that we are spiritual beings. Oh, I'm gonna think about that quote, but we are spiritual beings, and to master ourselves is to master our minds, control ourselves, and not in a sense of lack or in a sense of low vibration or in a sense of scarcity, but control ourselves in an empowering way. So the more that we master our mind and the more that we um, build ourselves, trust ourselves, believe in ourselves, that's how we free ourselves. I deeply believe that because the cost of playing small, looking good for other people, or seeking validation, none of that matters. All of that, it leads us to have lived feelings, because if you're doing something to please somebody else, in your heart, like, "Oh, I only did that for them to like me, or I only did that so they wouldn't judge me, or I didn't want to be embarrassed, so I didn't really raise my hand, or I didn't say what I wanted to say." Like I feel like I made mistakes and I am a disruptor. One of the greatest things that I've done is the things that people say to me in order to try to break me down. It doesn't bother me. It actually it makes me like it actually kind of makes me arrogant, because when somebody like try to tells me something to hurt my feelings, like, "Oh, you aggressive." Yes. Yes. I already know that. So, but you're trying to say it as like something negative. I'm Because when people tell me I'm aggressive, for example, because somebody actually has told me that recently, and they were trying to be mean, it didn't hurt my feelings because I've accepted, like, and I've associated my aggression with passion. I'm determined, I'm driven, and all those qualities work for my personality because I want to be successful. And if that and so and I don't want to be successful only in making money. I want to be successful in mastering myself. I want to be successful in my health. I want to be successful in my relationships. And that's a stretch for me. So whenever we actually own, and that's what I was saying at the beginning of this call, like we get to own all the things, all the mess. I used to be so ashamed to be aggressive, controlling, um, tenacious, persistent, passionate. Like I I gave myself a contract and I was like, I am a passionate person. Like it just is what I have a lot of energy and joy. Like why would I be ashamed of that? Like I have life. I'm glad that I can move and get out of bed, and I'm glad that like I'm free, I'm loose in my body. But I'm using this as an example, like the things that you may be ashamed of or that you have been punished for in the past. It's okay, whether it's verbally, mentally, whatever. It's okay, because on the flip side of that, what is your purpose? What is your desire? What is your goal that you can use that for in order to not only create a life for yourself, but also empower people by contributing like the same people who have like shamed me for my energy and my passion, they're the same people who are intrigued by it. So it's like pick a side, you know? And so just know that, like, own pieces of it. And if you are mislabeled, because sometimes we are mislabeled, just know the more that you trust yourself and you be yourself and you own yourself and you heal yourself, the things that are not for you will roll off of you, and you'll be able to sleep at night. Oh honey, I'm getting into this, honey. I got a couple more notes for y'all. The cost of playing small, looking good for other people, and seeking validation, none of that matters. um it all leads to more unfulfillment because it's not what you desire, and there's no freedom. So being liked by everybody, it's impossible. Like, all of the people who we look up to, or we're told that, oh, look at this person, like, Einstein. I don't know why he's coming to my brain. He was a genius. Everybody says he's a genius. I don't know. But even as a kid, his own teacher didn't like him. As a kid, his own teacher didn't like him. Martin Luther King, he's glorified. I mean, obviously everybody didn't like him because he got assassinated. And I know I'm being extreme, and I think that's why I get to embrace my being a disruptor, because number one, it's hard for me to talk, like gentle and all that. Whenever it's like, this is real. Like, this is real. This is a real topic that so many people are suffering for, and they're ashamed, and they feel like they don't know the answer. And it's just, for me, why do I care? I don't know. But it's definitely a purpose of mine to empower and inspire people to be their best selves. Why do I care? Why? I don't know. It's something that's in me. Like, some of us, whatever, we all have something that we're supposed to share. And when I look at my life, everything in me is to lead and empower people to be their best selves. I mean, and relationships are a stretch for me, and I can't get rid of it. I've been running away from it for a long time. And so, whatever that thing you're running from, I mean, it's fascinating. The things that we resist, the things that we run from, the things that we hide from, most of the time, those are the things that, unless you feel it in your intuition, like, it's one thing, like, you're like, okay, I ain't supposed to be doing that. But when you feel it in your intuition, and because like, there's just some things, like, for instance, in sales, for example, I just know that I'm not going to do, but I'm responsible enough to know, like, okay, I'm not going to do that route, but I'm willing to do other things, even if it's harder, but I'm choosing to do that. I don't know if that makes sense, but there are some things that that you're not being honest with yourself about. And when we pretend not to know, that's what it's called, pretending not to know. The only person who's suffering is you. So there's something in you that you get to be honest about with yourself in order to get to the next level of your life, in order to be honest with yourself, so you can trust yourself more, so you can lead yourself and not look for answers from people around you. So, what actually matters to you? What actually matters to you? I don't know if you've heard this, but I've heard this also, that, and I think I probably already said that, one of the top regrets of the dying is that, and I'm like, dang, I'm just like saying all these words that I think might get me flagged, but is that they wish that they had lived true to themselves. They had lived their true selves. They wish that they had lived their true, most authentic selves. So, not the money. Y'all, I love making the money. No, I'm just kidding. But money touches everything, right? Money touches everything. And so we live on this planet where the people before us put so much value in money. And I'm not saying like in a bad way, but what I'm saying is money touches every part of our life. It touches every part of our life. Even the people without anything need money in order to eat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like money isn't bad. So, but it's not about the money. It's not about the status. Even though there are a few types of personalities, and you get to own whatever personality you've developed throughout your life. You know, it's something that we develop since we were kids. Um, but we all get our purpose, our drive from something. And some people love rewards and accomplishments. Some people love emotions and being around people and feeling whatever it may be for you, like own it. And we don't get to judge and shame people um, how they operate in this world. I believe that it is the quality of experiences and relationships that matter. It may not be all that matter, but I think quality of life definitely stems from our experiences in life and definitely relationships. And so now I ask, when was the last time you truly felt fully alive? Think about it. You can type it in the chat, share it with everybody. When was the last time you felt truly alive? The power in life is right now. Oh man, I wish I had like a little board, and I have one, but just not near me, and it's in my room. I want to like draw this for you. Mm. Let's see. I really want to draw this. I've seen this somewhere. Hopefully you can see it because, and I'm gonna end this soon with my. Hopefully you can see this. Hopefully you can see this. And now, can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? So this is life. This is life. What time is it? It is 9:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time where I am right now. So 9:48 is in my past. It's over here. Okay. 10 or 9 what I'm 9:50 is in the future. It hasn't happened yet. The only thing that I can focus on is being present with you right now. I know that's like a close time frame, even though like I hope 9:50 is happening. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm being exaggerated because sometimes we've been so programmed and conditioned, and we believe we're broken, and we believe like all the stuff that's not true. We believe all the stuff is that's not true. And it's keeping us small. I mean, my question is, look how far we've come as a people. And something that I think just I believe and that keeps me so faithful is I don't know my full history. I don't know my full history yet. As far as like most of my family, both my mom and my dad's side, I know them from the state, and I know like they've migrated, blah 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 blah, and all that. So, but I don't know exactly like where our lineage actually started from. So, um, so I definitely get to do homework. Who knows? Maybe we are native. Maybe I came from this land. Who knows? But my point is, I think about all the things that my ancestors have been through. I think about um, just I mean, even if you can't even think that far, like I just think about the things that I did in my life before now. Because I don't know about you. What's up, Jen? I don't know about you, but I think of I have a past life. We all have a past life, right? And I just think about some of the things I used to do that literally I felt was a spiritual, emotional, mental attack. And the fact that I've grown through that, and I'm just thinking of how blessed I am to to not have to experience that anymore. And the fact that I got through it, it's like, how could I not give my best? How can I not be my best? Not only is that a slap to myself, going back to the self love, not only is that a slap to myself, think about all my ancestors. Like, I'm thinking about my grandma, like the lady who helped raise me, and I just love so much. Like, just think about all my ancestors, and think about, from a spiritual standpoint, thinking about the source. Like, how can I not be free? How can I not live and be authentic? Because those people had, my ancestors, they had like so many external boundaries and limitations and resistance and hardship. Like, how can I not be free? How can I allow an emotion of worry and doubt and shame and embarrassment to keep me small? It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Like, it's insane to allow my brain to trick me that I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, I'm not capable. It's crazy that I don't matter, that I don't get to live a full life. It's insane. Like, there's so many people going back, like 150 people don't make it into the following day. There's so many people who were fighting, and just because my feelings got hurt, just because I don't want to be judged. People not gonna like you. It's billions of people on this earth. Not you know not everybody like Mother Teresa. With, like, let's be very, I mean, all the lady did, I mean, I don't know her full story, but all the lady did was help people. And there's people, can you believe, like, there are people who literally they are just indifferent, or they literally just didn't like the lady for wanting to help people. I mean, she wasn't doing riots or nothing, from what I know. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. But she wasn't doing no riots, no marches or nothing. She was just actively doing her thing, and people still hating on her, trying to hold her back. So, did I explain this? Did this make sense? This is all we have. This moment right now. We don't even have the next 5 minutes. We have the right now. How can we maximize this moment right now? Not be depressed from the past, and not be anxious from the future. The power is now. Joy isn't about one day. Learning how to be in love with ourselves, and not from, I'm not saying this from like a be arrogant, be egotistical. I'm not saying that. I just think that there are so many people who are lacking self-love. I'm not talking about self-care. I'm not Self-love and self-care are two separate things. Of course, like, they can be, one can be derived from the other, but I believe that people are so focused on masking themselves and doing all the things. I just know, even from personal experience, that if we are not aware of it, we are not being from a place of love. And you do not need a near death experience to start living. You do not. You do not. What would you be doing right now Oh gosh, y'all, I'm coming for it. I'm coming for it. We're doing this. We're all in. What would you be doing right now if and I do want to say this like to my family member, I'm gonna dedicate this to you. And of course we're all coexisting and we're all living in this world together. And the beautiful thing about being in this human experience is we get to learn from each other. We get to learn from each other. We get to um, be inspired, be empowered. We get to be grateful. Um, but what would you be doing right now if a doctor told you that you have 1 week to live? Mm, 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 mm. Because it could be any of us. It could be any of us. I know when we hear these stories, it feels so far, but it's not. It could be any of us. Would you be proud of how you have lived? What is the one thing that is nagging you? What is that one thing that is nagging you to be, to do, and to have, and like to be? What is that one thing? What is that one? Because we're a human, right? So we have this desire to grow and be better. What way of being is nagging you to express that, like right now? Like, oh, I want to be more courageous. I want to be kinder. I want to be more disciplined. I want to be happier. Like, what are those ways of being that is nagging you to express it right now? What are those things that you want to do, that you want to create, that you want to um, experience? What are those things that you want to have? Like, I'm doing this work. It's time to get busy, y'all. I'm doing this work. And when I say do this work, because I never knew what that meant before. So I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'm doing the best that I can until I get more information, and then I'll implement that. But right now, when I say do the work, number one, I think, is choosing the one priority or the top three, right? But really focusing on the thing, not all the things, just the thing, right? Um, Number two, what is your method? So for me, I love to journal. Well, honestly, I do the journaling because it works. I don't know if I love it. Like, it's not like I get super excited. I just do it because I know it works for me. When I journal, I have I have taught myself to be free and open with that pen and that paper, and I write and I write and I walk myself through it, and I talk myself through it, and I heal myself through journaling. Now, for you, it could be go and talk to a therapist. It could be what I did the other night. I actually just turned my video on because we have video on this phone. Everybody got a phone. You got this. And I was so tired, but I had some heavy emotions, and I just talked to myself, and I just talk and I talk and I talk and I talk and I talk. And I felt better to just at least get it out. It could be doing some mirror work. Literally, there have been moments in my life where I literally had to get naked, and I went and stood in front of the mirror, and I made myself look at myself bucky naked. And it took a while. I'm being real. Can we be real? And when I got comfortable enough, I allowed myself to actually talk to myself, look at myself through my eyes. I mean, no makeup, no nothing, looking busted, looking natural, looking natural. I'm not gonna say busted, looking natural. But I gave myself permission to just be. And maybe I get to start doing that again. Um, Doing the work could be just, you know, connected with the source. It could be going to nature, I do think it's not just going and being idle minded. I think it, because there's two types. I think, like, when you meditate, I know sometimes it's really hard for me to meditate because it's like I don't want to. I'm trying to stop the thoughts. I know sometimes you're supposed to let the thoughts just come, but I have a lot of thoughts, right? So it's actually work. So whenever we are relaxing, I had to learn for myself. I thought that I was relaxing before, but then when I started to actually be like, okay, this is an intentional relaxation set. Like this me doing the work, me journaling and working myself through my trauma, healing myself. That's not relaxing time for me. That's actual work. That's mental work, emotional work, spiritual work. It's not me just relaxing and chilling, like being idle. Like when I watch a movie, I love to watch a movie, but I'm not working. I'm just being idle. You know what I'm saying? So doing the work is the same diligence that you give to your job, the same diligence that you give to a loved one, the same intention that you give to scrolling on social media. Use that effort, that energy, that intensity, that passion towards yourself. Walk, asking yourself questions like these questions. I'm going to work through them for me. I get to do that and answering them honestly. I mean, in my journal, y'all better not ever find. I'm not gonna ever show y'all my journal. Hopefully, I've never showed y'all my journal because I don't want y'all to find it. But it's some stuff in there that if I go back and read it, I would be like, oh, what? Like it would be kind of, and my thoughts matters, my emotions matter, so I put them in a safe place that I got to express in that moment because that's what was real for me. Like we're human. We're supposed to. I think we're supposed to experience like there are. I forgot how many emotions, but there are like lots and lots of emotions. I don't know, definitely over 20 emotions, right? And most people experience like five. Either you happy, you sad, you depressed, or you know what I'm saying. But like there's joy. There's oh man, y'all making. We're gonna wrap this up soon. But let me see, like how many emotions are there? It's important that we know these things. How many emotions? No, they're not gonna do me like this. So there are six basic emotions, but there are other emotions like wonder, contempt, pride, um, excitement. There's so many other ones, but they not. Oh, they're saying that there are 27. There are 27 emotions according to Berkeley or University of California in Berkeley, right? And so, but most of us, do we actually experience awe or um, even disgust? Because disgust is different from anger, interest, relief. Like there's so many emotions, and so what if we just expand our humanness just by experiencing more of feeling like a human? Or some of us, what if we expand our humanness by being more courageous and doing things that we would never do? Because like I was saying, like there are two types of people. There's the people who they be doing a lot, but they not connected. And then you have the people who are so like connected, but they're not as courageous. And sure, of course, there are other scenarios, right? What can you do right now to get closer to that being, that doing, and that having? What can you do right now? Or, and again, like this is kind of contradictory, but at least within the next 24 hours, at least by the end of this week. Because the question was, if a doctor said that you only had 1 week to live, like what would be that one thing that you would make sure that you experience, that you have, that you be, that you do before your time's up? The choice is yours. Yes, there are external factors that may be out of our control. and they can potentially slow you down. And you still always have a choice to defeat that internal resistance and to grasp what truly matters to you. You can let fear, overthinking, and distractions keep running your life. It's your choice. No shame, no blame, no guilt. It just, and again, I get to be authentic. And this is what I really wonder. There's so many people who I feel, who I see. And again, I'm not judging people because I'm not judging, but it keeps me, it keeps me, it keeps me, what is this word? I don't know this word right now. I mean, there are people who, I'm gonna just be real because I'm not saying this from a place of judgment. I'm not saying this from a place of condemning them or like, but there are people who I'm like, you have so much to offer. Why are you hiding? Why are you afraid? How come you're not curious enough to figure it out? Like, again, there are 150,000 people who die every single day, roughly, right? But they don't make it. And most of them did not know they were not going to make it. So, how can we not maximize every single day? And of course, we definitely have days where we get to have down days. Like, we do definitely get to honor ourselves in our experience. I mean, yes, like, obviously. But there are people who, for decades and decades, year after year, day after day, and nobody's coming to save us. Nobody is coming to do it for us, to figure it out for us. Like, we are so blessed with the ability to think. I mean, think about these animals. Like, obviously there is intelligence inside of animals, but I'll use a dolphin because they're one of the smartest animals, right? But a dolphin can only be a dolphin. Like, a dolphin cannot change its mind and say, "Oh, I want to be a land mammal." Like, I've never seen that. Have you? Like, I haven't. But as a human, even though there's a lot of baggage with being a human, but aren't we so blessed that we have the mental capacity to be able to think of a different version for ourselves, a different life, a different outcome, a different, like, and instead of exhausting our mental capabilities, we are allowing our emotions to keep us afraid, to keep us small, to keep us broke, to keep us sad. How dare you? How dare you not, if you don't do it for yourself, do it for somebody in your family that you care about. Do it for your ancestors. Do it for the person that you give praise to or the source that you give praise to. Because there are 150,000 people, I Googled, well, actually, I chat GPT and the number may be off, but it's a lot, right? We always have the choice to defeat the internal resistance to grasp what truly matters. So it's up to you to make the shift. I am so humbled. Oh my gosh, I'm so humbled in this moment. I'm so grateful. I'm so, so, so grateful. We all get to be grateful. Um, so I invite you to stop waiting, to start living. What's the one thing that you will do right now to fully live your life? That is the question. So I want to read y'all's comments. T, what'd she say? The relief of finally doing is, oh yeah, I read that. I'm glad it was valuable. You're welcome. Anxiety is living in our head, creating stories that don't exist. Anxiety is seeing the spider and being afraid. Fear is the side crawling on us, trying to bite. Yes, I agree with that. Hold on. Oh, attempting to bite. Attempting to bite. Fear is the spider crawling on it. That's a even like more vivid distinction between anxiety and fear. Yeah, just seeing the spider, the snake doesn't mean anything, but if it get on me, okay, that's a real threat. Okay. um, that's a reflection of their perception. Oh, thank you. She said I was a great coach. Honestly, y'all tell me. See, look, ooh, y'all about to hold me accountable because I do not like. I resist me being a coach. Like, I don't want to be nobody coach. Like, I am a consultant, but I just feel like coaching, being a coach, it just I have some limitation. So I gotta work through that. I can't be out here doing this. She said, be true to yourself. Money is a tool that we all get to use when I spend time with my family. I think she was answering one of the question. Yes, our ancestors have paved the way. Be present. Jen said, live in the past, live in fear, live in the future, live in anxiety, live in the now. Yes, yes, yes. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. We get to live in the now. Collaboration. This is in my face all the time in healthcare. It happens all the time. That's what Jen said. And I think, back in the day, um, that was one of my past lives, being in the medical field. Yeah, I think that's why I think I used to put myself on these challenges. Like, I would do the most extreme challenges. And I'm like, you know what? How about I just choose choose health like all the time. And so that's my new wave. I do want to start doing more challenges again. I know a lot of people have appreciated them in the past, but I get to just be mindful every single day, every single moment, right? Work with what you have, do your best until you get better, and alert work to be better. T said she used to cry in the mirror and smile at herself. Girl, that mirror work, like if you really think you are the master of yourself, let me know how your mirror work sessions go because it really grounds you. Like I'm gonna do it tonight. I'm actually about to go do it right now because and like it's really just silence, like no music, no nothing playing in the background, just you looking at yourself in your eyes with nothing on, no makeup, no nothing. I even put my hair back so I can like be intimate with myself. Um, yeah. And she said, running in place. I'm going to travel to new places. Stagnant, limited thinking. Oh. So, what was your biggest takeaway? Definitely share in the comments below. Thank you for the people who were live, Billy T and Jen. And I know a lot of people probably be watching the replay. Y'all, we get to be our authentic, most honest selves. And we get to just grow through our process. Of course, like, I piss people off. People piss me off too. And so it's not like good or bad. It's life. It's life. Like, just because somebody hurt our feelings, that doesn't mean that person is bad. One of my favorite quotes, it was oh my gosh, I guess it's not my favorite quote if I don't remember it, but pretty much it was saying, if the lion told its story, then I don't remember exactly how the quote goes, but pretty much if the lion told its story, then it wouldn't be the bad guy. Something like that. What it's saying is pretty much, sometimes we get to be the bad person in somebody's story. But it doesn't make you a bad person. Sometimes it's, I should think like we get to just express ourselves. So sometimes as we are growing through these awkward emotions, stages, experiences, like we get to know. That's what I'm saying. It's so important for us to know ourselves and trust ourselves, because when we are growing through that awkwardness, like, trying something new, and even though it may not be who we always are, like, I know some people don't speak up for themselves. So the moment that you speak up, no, it may not turn out the way you want, but imagine, like, once you get empowered for actually having your own bag, right? um T said her biggest takeaway is to move and be her genuine self. Live in the now. Yes, live in the now. Um, None of us are guaranteed the next week. And so, like I said, I really hope this message lands with you, and please leave your leave your biggest takeaway. And if you have an idea from this video, share with it in the comments, so then that way other people can get empowered. I am also like streaming on different platforms, so if you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video. See y'all later.